Good morning, or good afternoon, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Joan Lenahan Field here in beautiful Bedford, Nova Scotia, as we get ready for our next game here on day number 3 of the 2019 16U Girls Invitational, brought to you by Baseball Canada. And we've got for you a placement quarterfinal. It's the bracket to determine the places 7 through 12. The winner of this game will go on to a semifinal for 7 through 10. The loser of this game will drop down and play in the 11th place game tomorrow morning. And in this one, we've got a rematch of a game from yesterday where Prince Edward Island is taking on Team Newfoundland Labrador. Newfoundland and Labrador won the previous matchup between these two teams it's a rematch from Thursday afternoon, rather. Prince Edward Island lost that one by a score of 20-0, looking for a much better showing here this afternoon in the rematch between themselves and the team from Newfoundland and Labrador. Newfoundland Labrador finished Group C with a 2-1 record, and by virtue of that record, they are the home team in this game. They won against Prince Edward Island, as mentioned, by a score of 20-0. They also beat New Brunswick by a score of 9-2. Their only loss in the round robin portion coming to Team Nova Scotia 2 by a score of 9-1. For Prince Edward Island, they come in with a record of 1-2. As mentioned, they will be the visiting team in this game. They had that 20-0 loss to Newfoundland Labrador. They also lost to Nova Scotia 21-12. Their only victory came in the opening game of the tournament here on this field. They were trailing 8-1 going into the 6th inning, but they put up 11 runs in the bottom of the 6th to make it 12-8. The final score ended up being 12-10. And so that put Prince Edward Island at the record of 1-2, which means they are the visiting team in this game. The winner of this game will go on to that 7-12 or 7-10 semifinal, and they'll face Saskatchewan in that game. The loser of this game, again, as mentioned, will play in the 11th and 12th place game tomorrow morning at 8:30 here on Joan Lenahan. Before we get to the starting lineups of the teams, let's get to the third team out there. That is our umpires. It'll be Matt Henneberry behind the plate, Alex Marriott covering first, and over at third base is Ingrid Helmke, and if I'm mispronouncing that name, I do apologize. Prince Edward Island, as the visiting team, will be batting first, and let's take you through their batting order. It's going to be Kirsten Rogers leading off. She's the right fielder for PEI. Emily Gardner, the shortstop, bats second. Victoria Surrett, the center fielder, bats third, and Victoria's Uncle Wes from Pictou County watching the game this afternoon. Selena Ford, the starting pitcher for PEI, will be batting fourth. Ella Nicholson, first baseman, bats fifth. Batting sixth, Carly Snow, the extra hitter, will be at that sixth spot in the lineup. Lily Atkins bats seventh. She'll be the catcher for PEI. 8, 9, and 10 will be third base, Katie McDonald, second base, Karis Jelly, and left fielder, Madeline Arsenault, as the wind's picking up in a big way here in Bedford. The wind blowing out hard to left field, across from right to left. And we'll set the Newfoundland Labrador defense here as well. Megan Bennett in left, Brianna Saunders in center, Mackenzie Byrne in right. The infield from third to first, Dwyer, that's Claire Dwyer, Hannah Legg at short, Victoria Hull at second, Jada Lee and is at first base. Behind the plate, Steph Pelly, and on the mound it will be Hope Bishop Frizzell, and Bishop Frizzell, as far as her pitching stats in this tournament so far go, we'll pull those up here in just a moment. She pitched 1 1/3 innings in her one previous appearance, giving up 1 hit, 2 runs, 1 walk. She got 1 strikeout. And we are underway here at 12:30. The first pitch to Kirsten Rogers. Catches the bottom of the zone for a strike. And there's the next pitch. It misses low, and the count goes to 1-1. Oh, in Swiss for the cheese.
It's already on it.
Oh, okay.
What I sent.
Okay. So Rogers, the leadoff batter for Prince Edward Island here. Just pulling up her stats at the plate so far in the tournament. That one misses high. Rogers so far batting .333 on the tournament. An on-base percentage of .667 or of .429 coming into this game. That has just improved with that leadoff walk. That'll bring up Emily Gardner. Gardner batting .444 so far, an on-base percentage of .500, 1 RBI, 6 runs scored. She's walked once. And first pitch to Gardner gets away from the catcher, Pelly, and that allows Rogers to head down to second base. Gardner, the left-handed hitting shortstop, standing in. Facing the pitcher, Bishop Frizzell. There's a swing and a miss, and the count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on here in top of inning number 1. Again, the winner of this game will play Saskatchewan later tonight. That one fouled off, and the count goes to 1-2. The team that loses this game will play in the 11th and 12th place game first thing tomorrow morning, bright and early at 8:30 here on this field. So both these teams will be back on this field for their next games. It's just whether they're playing tonight or tomorrow morning. There's a line shot off the edge of the glove of Bishop Frizzell right to the second baseman, and gathered up there by Hull over to Lee for the first out of the inning. Rogers advances to third on the play. The technical scoring on that, a ground out 1-4-3, and that'll bring up Victoria Surrett. Shout out to my former employer, Pictou Lodge. I worked there before Wes Surrett became the general manager, way too many moons, more moons than I want to count ago. First pitch to Surrett misses low. Surrett on the tournament so far, batting .500, 5 for 10, with 2 singles, 2 doubles, a triple, 5 RBI, 5 runs scored. So a .500 batting average, a .500 on base percentage for Surrett, and she has a chance to add to her 5 RBI here in this one. That one misses outside. Count goes 2-0. Or 2-1, excuse me. Bishop Frizzell, the right-hander, delivers. That one driven out to right field. It's going to go off the fence. Rogers will score easily, and with the fence only 218 feet away, Surrett not able to take more than first base on that one. That'll bring up Selena Ford. Ford hitting .571, 4 for 7 so far in the tournament. You throw in the fact that she's also reached base with a walk once, and the on-base percentage, .625. She's driven in 4 and has 3 runs scored herself. And should mention as well for Surrett, that's her team-leading 6th RBI as she drove in Rogers. Swing and a miss. And heading down to second base on the play is Surrett. So Ford down in the count, 0-1. And Surrett getting a big lead off of second there. Bishop Frizzell takes a look back. Delivers home, and the pitch misses high and inside. 1-1 the count. The other part of the 7 to 12 bracket, New Brunswick playing Manitoba right now. The winner of that game will get Ontario in a 7 to 10 placement semifinal. And again, the loser of that game will play the loser of this game for 11th and 12th place tomorrow morning. Right now, New Brunswick leading Manitoba 5 to 1. Count on Ford, 1 and 2. Gets underneath that one, pops it up in the infield. Coming over to make the catch is the second baseman, Hull, for the second out. That'll bring up Nicholson. Ella Nicholson, so far on the tournament, is hitting .333, 2 for 6. She's got an on-base percentage of .556, however, as when you throw in the 3 walks that she has. 1 RBI, 1 run scored. And the first pitch to Nicholson misses high. 1-0 the count. Bishop Frizzell checking back. Now she'll deliver. That one popped up first base side, and it will fall in for a foul. And the count goes 1-1. Good hustle there by both the catcher, Pelly, and the first baseman, Lee, to try and get over to that ball, but just not enough height underneath it to allow them to get there in time. Pickoff throw back to second goes off the tip of the glove of the shortstop leg. They had Surratt leaning the wrong way, but fortunately for Surratt, the throw back went just off of Leg's glove, and no harm, no foul. Surratt still at second. There's a swing and a miss, and the count goes 1-2. Bishop Frizzell 1 strike away from getting out of this inning with just 1 run given up. But a single out to left center will drive in another run. PEI up 2-0 here. And already a much better start for Prince Edward Island this time around than in the first meeting, as PEI at the end of the first inning was down 10-0 and never able to right the ship. Carly Snow now comes in. She'll be the extra hitter in this game for PEI. Snow hitting .429 with an on-base percentage of .500. 3 for 7 with a walk, 2 RBI, and a run scored. Throw over to first, and Nicholson able to get back easily. For Nicholson, that RBI on that last at-bat was her second RBI of the tournament. Runner going, pitch out. Throw gets down, but not quite in time. A little bit too far to the third base side of the bag, as Leg was able to get in front of that ball, but not able to apply the tag in time. 1-0 the count on Snow. That one sent foul, and the count goes to 1-1. One ball, 1 strike the count on Nicholson. With a runner on second and 2 away, here comes the pitch. That one also driven foul. Another hard hit ball, but just a little bit behind on that swing. Trying to go the other way with it, but just a little bit too far behind, sending it foul. Bishop Frizzell takes a look back at second to check on Nicholson. Now delivers the 1-2. That misses inside. It gets away from the catcher, Pelly. And Nicholson able to get down to third. The count even on Snow, 2-2. No offense meant to Carly, but I don't even want to think about her last name quite yet. We're still in August. There's a swing and a miss. And Snow goes down swinging. But Prince Edward Island do put up 2 runs on 2 hits. no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We've played half an inning, and Team PEI leads Newfoundland and Labrador by a score of 2-0. We'll run you through the Newfoundland-Labrador batting order now. Leading off, it'll be the left fielder, Megan Bennett. Batting second, the shortstop, Hannah Legg. Batting third, playing right field, Mackenzie Byrne. Batting in the cleanup spot, the first baseman, Jada Lee. Batting fifth, third baseman, Claire Dwyer. Batting sixth, the starting pitcher for Newfoundland and Labrador, Hope Bishop Frizzell. Batting seventh, the extra hitter, Summer Mosier. Batting eighth, second baseman, Victoria Hull. Batting ninth, center fielder, Brianna Saunders. And in the 10 spot will be the catcher, Steph Pelly. Taking a look at the defense for Team Prince Edward Island. Around the outfield from left to right, it'll be Madeline Arsenault, Victoria Surrett, and Kirsten Rogers. Around the infield, third base monitored by Katie McDonald. Shortstop will be Emily Gardner. Second base, Karis Jelly. And over at first base, Ella Nicholson. Behind the plate, it's Lily Atkins. And on the mound, making her second start of the tournament, is Selena Ford. Ford pitched in the opening game against New Brunswick. She threw 2 1/3 innings. Ended up with a no decision as she left the game with PEI trailing. And as we mentioned, that was the game that PEI came back with 11 runs in the 6th to come back and get the win. In her 2 1/3 innings, she gave up 3 runs on just 1 hit. Only 2 of those runs were earned. There were 3 walks and 4 strikeouts. She hit 1 batter. So you put all those numbers together, she's got an ERA of 6.0 and a whip of 1.71. So we get ready for the bottom of the first inning. A quick look over at the score on the other diamond. It's 5-3 now for New Brunswick as Manitoba's put up 2 in the bottom of the second to close the gap, and they're still threatening with the bases loaded and 1 away. Also a reminder, this broadcast can and will be interactive. Send me a Facebook message or a tweet. Just look up Petter Pictou Sports. That's P-E-T-T-E-R, Pictou, P-I-C-T-O-U, Sports, either on Facebook or on Twitter. And send me a message either of those ways, and we'll have a conversation rather than just me talking at you throughout the course of this entire game. Ford delivers the first pitch high, and that is ball 1 to Megan Bennett. Bennett standing in on the right-hand side. And so far on the tournament, Bennett is batting 167, 1 for 6. Fouled that one off, and the count goes to 1-1. Bennett, again, 167 for the batting average, 286 for the on-base percentage when you throw in the walk that she has. 2 RBI and 3 runs scored for Bennett so far. Here comes the 1-1 from Ford, and the righty misses up and in, 2-1 the count. Ford, a very strong pitcher for Team Prince Edward Island. Certainly their ace, some would argue. I would be among them. That one misses just high, and the count goes to 3-1. As the wind's starting to die down a little bit now. But of course, as soon as I say that, we get a gust. And when it does gust, it is blowing strong out to left field. Bennett earns herself a walk. That'll bring up Hannah Legg. Legg on the tournament, 167 batting average, a 375 on-base percentage. Batting 1 for 6 with a walk and a hit by pitch. She's also got 3 runs scored so far in the tournament. First pitch, runner going. Throw down to second, not quite in time, as Bennett gets the steal on the pitch to Legg that missed down below the zone. So Bennett now in scoring position, trying to respond to the 2 runs that PEI put up in the top of the first. There's a swing and a miss, and the count goes to 1-1. ball, 1 strike. And the pitch. Runner going again, swing and a miss. And actually that's strike 3. I thought the first pitch was called low for a ball, but it was called a strike, and so a strikeout on 3 pitches sends leg down, and that'll bring up Mackenzie Byrne. Byrne playing right field in this one. She's batting .429, 3 for 7, with 2 singles and a double, 4 RBI, and 2 runs scored so far in the tournament. And the first pitch to Byrne fouled off, and the count goes 0-1. Bennett now at third base with 1 away. Swung and a miss there. And Byrne down in the count here, 0-2. The lefty steps back in. And here comes the 0-2. Swung on and missed. Back-to-back Ks for Ford. That'll bring up Jada Lee. Lee hitting .429 in the tournament. On base percentage of .556 as she's reached base, getting hit by pitches twice. So 3 for 7 with 2 hit by pitches, 4 RBI and 4 runs scored so far on the weekend. And takes the first pitch strike, 0-1. So the leadoff walk by Ford to Bennett. Serving to calm her down a little bit. There's a grounder over to short. Throw across in time as Gardner gets the good strong throw across the diamond. No runs, no hit, no errors. 1 runner left on base by virtue of that walk. And we've played 1 complete inning. Prince Edward Island leading Newfoundland and Labrador by a score of 2-0, due up in the top of the second. For PEI, it'll be the catcher, Lily Atkins, the third baseman, Katie McDonald, and the second baseman, Karis Jelly. Normally don't turn my microphone completely off between half innings like that, but I have to give a big thank you to Subway, who have supplied some sandwiches for the volunteers and the staff here at this tournament, and I scarfed down my piece of sub there as quickly as I could so that none of the action got missed. And the first pitch to Atkins, she swings on and misses. Count goes to 0-1. No balls, 1 strike here on Atkins as we start the top of the second inning. That pitch just misses, and the count goes to 1-1. Atkins so far on the tournament comes in hitting, let me find her here. Atkins hitting, still looking for her first hit of the tournament. She's 0 for 8. She has reached base twice with the walk, and both of those walks ended up driving in runs. She's come around to score herself once as well. Fouls that one off, and the count goes to 0-2. So Even though she has yet to get a hit in this tournament, she's got 2 RBI through those 2 walks. And there's a swing and a miss, strike 3. So second strikeout for Hope Frizzell, or Bishop. Actually, it's not Bishop Frizzell out there. It's a pitching change as Kayla Mizzou is now pitching. The left-hander. That's what I get for not paying attention, being too busy eating my sub. Mizzou, the new pitcher for Newfoundland Labrador. And her first 2 pitches to McDonald miss. McDonald so far on the tournament also looking for her first hit. She's only had 2 previous plate appearances. That one misses. In the count 3-0. She's 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch. So an on-base percentage of .500. Swung on and missed there, and the count goes to 3-1. And for Mizzou, on the week tournament so far, that one fouled off, the count now full. For Mizzou, she threw 2/3 of an inning in one previous appearance. Gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. Struck out 1. She also hit a batter. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. And back-to-back Ks for Mizzou. Her first and second batters that she faces. Her first and second strikeouts, and that'll bring up Karis Jelly. Jelly 0 for 1. She's only had 1 plate appearance so far. Or 0 for 0. She had 1 plate appearance where she walked. It drove in a run, and she came around to score herself. First pitch to Jelly misses high, ball 1. Jelly, one of the younger players on this Prince Edward Island team, the future of this team at this event. There's a strike, and the count goes to 1-1. You compare where Prince Edward Island was last year when half of their team wasn't even from the island. It was half PEI, half Nova Scotia players who were playing for PEI so that they could get an actual team into the tournament. This year, it's all island girls, so big strides forward for Team PEI here this season. And there's a swing and a miss. And throw down to first for the third out. Striking out the side is Mizzou, as she takes over on the mound. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We've played 1.5. PEI still leads it 2-0. Due up for Newfoundland and Labrador in the bottom of the second. It's going to be Dwyer, Mizzou, and Mosier. And then if anyone gets on, it'll be Victoria Hull batting fourth. The cloud cover starting to roll in again and looking a little bit gray out there. But fingers crossed that the weather continues to hold for us here. We've yet to face a rain delay. Knock on wood, cross fingers, do whatever you got to do. Not that I believe in the broadcaster's jinx anyway, but saying it for those of you who do. We have been threatened with rain a few times. We had maybe about 5 or 10 minutes of kind of mist on Thursday morning. We had maybe 3 or 4 minutes of light rain yesterday. In fact, after being threatened with rain, we actually had to get the hoses out and water down the fields overnight on Thursday night. And now we got the gray clouds moving in again here as Dwyer steps up for her first at-bat of this game. Dwyer so far on the tournament. As I hit the wrong button, there we go. Dwyer on the tournament right now, batting .333, on base percentage of .429. She's 2 for 6 with a walk, 2 RBI and 3 runs scored so far on the tournament. That one misses high, and the count 2-1, I do believe. As Ford gets herself set and delivers. That one misses high, so the count was 3-0, and Dwyer earns the leadoff walk. That'll bring up Kayla Mizzou. Mizzou. Mizzou, 2 for 5 so far, batting .400. She also has a walk to bring her on base percentage up to .500. 2 RBI and 3 runs scored. Takes a strike there. With Dwyer leading off of first base. Ford with a long look over to first. Now she'll deliver the pitch. That misses high. And 1-1 the count. That wind shifting a little bit, now blowing out more towards straightaway center as opposed to out to left as it was earlier. Ford steps off the bag. Dwyer diving back in. Now Ford steps off again. Newfoundland coach is asking for a balk. They're not going to get one. And here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed. And the count goes to 1-2. PEI in their green jerseys with the white numbers. Newfoundland Labrador, the maroon jerseys with the gray numbers. Runner going, swing and a miss, strike 3. In safe with the stolen base is Dwyer. Ford gets her 3rd strikeout of the afternoon, and that'll bring up Summer Mosier. Mosier batting .500. She's 1 for 2. Her on-base percentage at .667 as she was hit by a pitch as well. 2 runs scored, 1 RBI. Fouls that one off, and the count goes to 0-1. So Mosier with a chance to get her 2nd RBI of the tournament here with a runner on second and just 1 away. That one misses high and outside. 1-1 the count. Ford looks in, looks back at second, now delivers, runner going, and getting in safely. The throw over the head of the third baseman, and that will allow Dwyer to come in to score. It's now 2-1 for PEI as the stolen base and the throwing miscue allow Dwyer to come in to score. That clears the bases. And now Mosier grounder to short. Gathered up, throw across in time. 2 away, and another good strong throw there from Gardner. That's her 2nd defensive assist there from the shortstop spot. That'll bring up Victoria Hull. She's had 1 plate appearance in this tournament, no official at-bats, as her 1 previous plate appearance has resulted in a walk. She came around to score in that plate appearance. She's been in 2 of the games. The other game where she did not get a plate appearance, she came in as a defensive replacement. That one misses low, and the count 2-0 on Hull. You look at both of these rosters and a lot of younger players. This is a 16U tournament, but both of these rosters filled with a good number of 13, 14, 15-year-olds. 3-0 now the count on Hull. That one misses high, And she earns her second walk of the tournament. That'll bring up Brianna Saunders. Saunders 0 for 4 with a walk. She reached on an error once as well and came around to score both times she got on base. Two away here, bottom of the second inning. Hull running on the first pitch, and she'll get down to second without drawing a throw as the pitch to Saunders misses just a little bit outside, and the count 1-0. Ford, long look back at second. Now she'll deliver, swing and a miss. And Saunders even in the count 1-1. Steph Pelly in the on-deck circle. Here's the pitch to Saunders. That misses high. And it goes off the glove of the catcher Atkins. That'll allow Hull to get down to third base. And the count goes to 2-1. Meanwhile, over next door, Manitoba has broken it open. 12 runs in the bottom of the second inning. They now lead 13-5 on New Brunswick. Swing and a miss. And the count goes to 2-2 on Saunders. And that has been New Brunswick's downfall in this tournament, is when they give up runs, they tend to give them up in bunches. Swing and a miss, strike three. Fourth strikeout for Ford, and that will do it for the bottom of the second. Newfoundland does put one on the board. They get one run, no hits, no errors, one runner left on base. We've played two complete. Prince Edward Island leads over Team Newfoundland Labrador by a score of 2-1. Due up for the team from the Rock. It'll be Madeline Arsenault, then back around to the top of the order for Kirsten Rogers, or the team from the island, rather. It'll be Madeline Arsenault leading off, then back around to the top of the order, Kirsten Rogers and Emily Gardner. I guess saying the island doesn't necessarily. In answer to your question, I see I got a message on Facebook here. In answer to your question, Lisa, Duncan, Rita, unfortunately, the games do not get recorded to be rewatched online. I'm getting a nod here. Go to 360 Live on YouTube next week, and the games will be there. You can't watch them tonight, but if you go to the number 3 and then the word 60, 360 Live on YouTube, they won't be there tonight. They will be there sometime next week. So you can't watch it back tonight, Lisa. I'm sorry, but you will be able to see it on YouTube. Again, that's 3, the number 3, 60, the word 60, 360 Live on YouTube, and you can check that there. So thanks for the question, Lisa. And as we look over at Twitter, we don't see any comments there, but again, thanks to the people who are tuning in and getting interactive as Arsenault is in. She takes the first pitch for a strike. And for Arsenault, this is her second plate appearance of the tournament. She is 0 for 1. Arsenault getting a chance to get some playing time in this one. That one misses high, and the count goes to 1-1. And again, for both of these teams, very young lineups. It's about getting some experience at this national level so that when they come back to this tournament again next year and maybe even in future years down the road, they'll be that much better prepared. Of course, PEI will be the host province next year, as the tournament will move from here in Bedford, Nova Scotia, across the Northumberland Strait to Summerside, Prince Edward Island. Swing and a miss there by Arsenault, and that's the 4th strikeout for Mizzou since she took over on the mound. And we're back around to the top of the order for Kirsten Rogers. Rogers from Donaldston, PEI, 15 years old. Takes the first pitch low, and it's 1-0. As the wind at the point now where it's kind of shaking our tower here a little bit. Not to the point that I'm, worried for my safety or anything, but to the point where it certainly feels a little bit odd and different to have that shake happen while you're trying to talk. 1-1 the count here on Rogers. That one misses down and in, and the count goes to 2-1. As Mizzou on in her second inning of work since coming in relief. Swing and a miss there, and the count 2-2. And the left-hander firing on all cylinders since she took over. That one popped up. Foul territory, first base side. Over to make the catch is the first baseman Lee for out number 2. And that'll bring up Emily Gardner. Gardner, the 12-year-old from Savage Harbor, 0 for 1 on the tournament. That can't be right. It says on my sheet that she's 12. That one misses high and inside, ball 1. And far be it from me to disbelieve the information. I just look at the stature of the young lady standing in there, and with her height, she certainly doesn't look like she's 12. Almost as tall as some of the 16 and even some 17-year-olds in this tournament. Oh, misses high and outside. 3-0 now the count on Gardner. There's a strike, and the count goes to 3-1. And if you caught the game last night between Alberta and Quebec, I had Nicole Luchansky, former player for Team Canada and currently a scout with Baseball Canada, and we had a conversation about the 3-0 pitch and the automatic take. And, both of us sort of having a similar thought that just because it's 3-0, for batters as they are learning discipline at the plate, one thing that we would both like to see is more batters pick a spot, and if the pitch comes in that spot, turn on it and drive it. There's a swing and a miss. 5th strikeout. And that will retire the side. 5th strikeout in 6 batters for Mizzou. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We played 2.5. PEI continues to lead at 2-1. Newfoundland will have 10-1-2 up in the bottom of the third. It'll be Steph Pelly, then back around to the top of the order, Megan Bennett and Hannah Legg. And just 31 pitches through the 2 innings for Mizzou. And now you wonder if Newfoundland Labrador is going to let her run this game, or if they're going to take her out after just 4 more pitches, or even not let her start the 4th so that she's available to them again tomorrow, or alternatively available to them again in the game that if they win this game, they would play later this evening. Therein lies the challenge of being a coach in this pitch count era. And I've said it many times, but I'll say it again. I am not in any way maligning the role of the pitch count rules. I think the pitch count rules themselves are serving their exact purpose, if I could speak English, making sure that young arms are not getting overtaxed as Pelly fouls off the first pitch. But it does add such a different level to the elements of coaching as you're trying to figure out how you're going to use your pitchers over the course of a weekend in a tournament setting like this. There's a swing and a miss, and the count goes to 0-2 on Pelly. She's 0-4-2 on the tournament in just 2 plate appearances. Getting her 3rd time up to bat here in this tournament. Swings and misses, and Ford with a quick strikeout, her 5th K of the afternoon. That brings us around to the top of the order for Megan Bennett. Bennett from St. John's, standing in for her 2nd at bat. She walked and was stranded at 3rd back in the 1st inning. Takes a strike there, and the count goes to 0-1. And that's something we've seen quite a bit already today from Ford, is first pitches in for strikes, getting ahead in counts early. That one misses just a bit inside, and the count goes to 1-1. As Ford gets herself set and delivers. That one misses high, 2-1. But even when Ford is missing the zone, she's not missing by too awful much. That one, however, of course, just after I say that, is well up and out of the zone. And the count now 3-1. And that misses low, ball 4. 4th walk given up by Ford. That'll bring up Hannah Legg with 1 on and 1 out. Legg from Cowhead, 15 years old. Standing in with 1 on and 1 out. Ford with the long look over. Steps off the rubber, and scampering back in is Bennett. Here's the pitch. Bennett going. Throw down to second, not in time. And Bennett in with the stolen base. Bennett stole second and stole third last time on the base paths. Ended up being stranded there at third. Now stolen second again, and heads right for third, and not even going to draw a throw this time, as the count now goes to 1-1. Here's the pitch. That misses a little bit high. 2-1. And we talked about this a little bit in the game earlier this morning. The one thing you probably won't see, if a ball, even if a ball gets past Atkins and heads to the backstop, because the backstop is so close here at Joan Lenahan Field to the plate, we have yet to see it in this tournament where a runner has tried to come home. And, of course, as I say that, the first time all weekend it does happen, and because the ball rattled around, Bennett able to take advantage and come in to score, and it's now 2-2. The count runs full on Legg. Here's the pitch. That misses high. And another walk for Newfoundland Labrador. That'll bring up Mackenzie Byrne. Byrne from Mount Pearl. 16-year-old steps in with 1 on and 1 out here in the third of what is now a tie ball game. That misses outside, ball one. So Ford having a little bit of an issue with her command of the zone here this afternoon. 5 walks so far issued by Ford, but she's also got 5 strikeouts. Throw over to first, and the ball just rolls away from Nicholson, but not far enough to allow Legg a chance to advance. Five walks, 5 strikeouts for Ford. And there's another stolen base for Newfoundland Labrador, as they have been aggressive on the base paths. The pitch to Byrne missed the zone, the count 2-0, but Legg now standing at second. Runner going again, throw down to third, almost in time, very close play at third base, but Legg gets in with that steal. The count goes to 3-0 on Byrne. And here's Ford getting herself set for the 3-0 pitch. That one misses high, ball 4, and that puts runners at the corners. And we'll get a mound visit here by the Prince Edward Island coaching staff. And as they talk things over, the next batter, Jada Lee, heading down to have a chat with her third base coach. Lee, just 13 years old, from Newfoundland Labrador. From St. John's, Newfoundland Labrador. There we go. So Lee standing in. With runners on the corners and just one out. Runner going. Called strike, and as is usually the case, with runners on the corners, no throw down to second to make sure that the runner at third stays there. Now there's a line shot out to left, first hit of the day for Newfoundland Labrador. And Lee will get into second base standing with the double. 2 runs come in to score. It's now 4-2 for Newfoundland Labrador as they lead with the 2 RBI double for Lee. And for Lee, that's her 5th and 6th RBI of the tournament, taking the team lead. And Lee heading down to third. Ended up coming off of the bag at the end of her slide and gets tagged out as a result. So Lee had the steal but then popped off the bag, and that will be the second out as Dwyer stands in. Dwyer from Grand Falls, Windsor, swings and misses at that pitch. And the count now 1-1. So a stolen base for Lee, but she ends up popping off of the bag and getting tagged out as a result. Now a fly ball out to center, and making the catch is Surrett for the third out of the inning, but Newfoundland does put 3 on the board. They get 3 runs on just the 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We've played 3 complete. The score now favors Newfoundland and Labrador 4-2. Due up in the top of the 4th, it'll be Surrett, Ford, and Nicholson. And if anybody gets on, then Carly Snow. Meanwhile, as we look at the scoreboard for the other game taking place, Manitoba has now extended their lead on New Brunswick, 15-5 now the scoreline for Manitoba. 12 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning, breaking that game open in favor of the Manitobans over, or Team Toba as they call themselves, over New Brunswick. And again, if that score holds, New Brunswick will be on this field tomorrow morning at 8:30 for the 11th and 12th place game. We're heading to the top of the fourth here in this one, with Newfoundland and Labrador leading PEI 4-2. As there is a new pitcher out there now for Newfoundland and Labrador. Taking over on the mound is Maddie Healy. And we'll give you some stats for Healy here in just a moment. So Newfoundland and Labrador have made sure to keep Mizzou available for another pitching performance somewhere down the road, either later tonight or tomorrow. Healy, one previous game, she pitched 3 innings in a start, got the victory, giving up 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, struck out 4. And first pitch to her first batter, Surrett, is a strike. And Victoria Surrett listed as Ottawa, Ontario for the hometown. 13 years old. Playing for Team PEI. Swing and a miss there. And the count goes to 1-1. There's another strike, or actually it was a 1-2 pitch there, and a called third strike, so Surrett goes down, and that's the first strikeout for the new pitcher Healy. 7 strikeouts overall for PEI pitching, and that'll bring up Selena Ford. Ford from Summerside. 0 for 1 on this game, popped out to second her first time up. Swings and misses there, and the count goes to 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Pulled foul, and it's 1-2. Healy with a long look in. Now she steps off, step back on, and delivers. That misses high. And the count goes to 2-2. The 2-2 pitch now. Popped up. Just in front of home plate. It ends up hitting the catcher, but Ford had stayed put at the plate, so an easy toss down to first for the second out of the inning. I think Ford had expected that ball to roll foul, as we are now getting a little bit of rain here. So mark the ground out, technically 2-1-3, as the ball was touched by the catcher before it went to the pitcher, who then threw it down to first. And that'll bring up Ella Nicholson. She had an RBI single her first time up. Nicholson from Kensington, 16 years old. There's a grounder down to short. It gets through the shortstop leg, and Nicholson will reach on the error. And that's the first base runner for PEI since Nicholson got her RBI single back in the first. That'll bring up Carly Snow. Snow struck out her first time up. Snow listed as a 12-year-old. One of 2 12-year-olds on this team. She's from Summerside. Gardner, the other 12-year-old. So she comes on with 1 on and 2 away here. Snow fouls that one off the front of the plate, and the count goes to 0-1. As Healy continues her first inning of work here. And I think we're going to see them keep a relatively low pitch count on her today to make sure that she's available again for tomorrow as well. There's a grounder over to second. Flip to the shortstop leg for the third out. So the error doesn't come back to haunt Team Newfoundland Labrador. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 runner left on base. We've played 3.5, and Newfoundland Labrador continue to lead Prince Edward Island 4-2. Due up for Newfoundland Labrador, it'll be Maddie Healy, followed by Summer Mosier and Victoria Hull. And if anyone gets on, then Brianna Saunders. As we take a quick scan around just to see the PEI defense, make sure nothing has changed as of yet. And so far it has not. But as we've seen from both of these teams through this tournament, the coaching staffs do a very good job of making sure that every player gets involved in the games. So as we hit the bottom of the 4th inning here, expect to see some changes. Although, on the flip side of that, both of these teams in this game are using some of the players that haven't seen quite as much action. So they may get left in a little bit longer this time around to give them that experience here at the Nationals. This is an Invitational championship. The distinction made because there are 2 teams representing Nova Scotia and 2 teams representing Quebec, as opposed to a classic national championship where a provincial champion or a provincial representative team and just a single one for each team is brought in. So Maddie Healy comes in for her first plate appearance and takes a strike. And we can tell you that Healy on the tournament so far is batting .167, 1 for 6, 1 walk and 1 hit by a pitch to bring up the on-base percentage up to .375. 2 RBI and 1 run scored for Healy so far on the tournament. That one popped foul. And the count 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Swung on and missed. And Healy goes down swinging. That'll bring up Summer Mosier for her second plate appearance. Mosier from Corner Brook, 14 years old. Takes that one off the inside corner, and she's ahead in the count here, 1-0. There's a swing and a miss, and the count goes to 1-1. 4-2 the scoreline here in favor of Newfoundland Labrador, bottom of the 4th inning. Again, we take a quick look at the other game. Manitoba now leading New Brunswick 18-5, as they're trying to get into a position where they can end that game in just 3.5 innings if they can get 2 more runs in the bottom of the 3rd. That one misses high, and the count goes to 2-1. Ford out there for her 3rd inning of work, and this will be her final pitching appearance of the tournament, so they're going to let her go her full 95 pitches, I'm sure. And there's a walk to Mosier. So after the strikeout of Healy, the 6th strikeout for Ford, she gives up her 6th walk. by walking Mosier, and that'll bring up Victoria Hull, and Mosier will be replaced for a pinch runner. And coming in to be the pinch runner is Joelle Vokey. So Vokey comes in to pinch run. And Hull coming in for her second plate appearance from Pasadena, Newfoundland, Labrador. Hull, one of the 6 recipients of walks so far in this game. New Brunswick has retired the side in the bottom of the third over in the other game. It's 18-5. So Manitoba will have to bat in the bottom of the fourth, but they'll have a chance to end it in the bottom of the fourth if they can put up a couple more runs, depending on what New Brunswick does in the top of the fourth. First pitch to Hull misses, and the count is 1-0. That one misses low, gets away from Atkins, and Vokey will head down to second base. 2-0 the count on Hull. Joelle Vokey from Chapels Cove, Newfoundland, Labrador. That one misses inside, and the count 3-0. And the pitch. That one misses high. And back-to-back walks put runners at first and second, and that'll bring up Brianna Saunders. Saunders from Grand Falls, Windsor. Comes up, 2 on, 1 out. Actually, no, we're going to get another pinch hitter. Julia Chipman coming in to bat for Saunders. And Chipman, so far on the tournament, 0 for 3 in 5 plate appearances. She's walked twice, so a on-base percentage of .400. Came around to score both times that she walked. And takes the first pitch for a ball. 0-1. Or 1-0, excuse me. 7 walks and 6 strikeouts for Ford so far. There's a strike, and the count goes to 1-1. Not a lot of pitching to contact by Ford. Certainly, she's pitched 2 groundouts and a pop-out and 1 single. Other than that, it's been walks or strikeouts, and there's a ball that gets away from Atkins, moving the runners down to second and third with 1 away. And the count now 2-1 to Chipman. That one misses high and outside, 3-1. And here comes the 3-1 pitch. That one misses high. Oh, obviously it was 2-2, so that one makes it 3-2. Now we'll get the 3-2 pitch. Grounder to the second baseman. Over to first for 1. As Jelly able to get the ball to Nicholson for an out. Chipman gets the RBI as she drives home Vokey. Hull advances to third. And for Chipman, that's her first RBI of this tournament. A productive out. And that'll bring up another pinch hitter, Madison Lockyer. with now 2 away and a runner on third. And for Lockyer, she's 1 for 5 on the tournament, 4 RBI, however, as a lot of her outs have been productive outs. Oh, and getting her first plate appearance in this game, and is ahead in the count here, 2-0. Here comes the pitch from Ford. That one misses high. And trying to come in to score on the pass ball again, and coming in successfully is Hull. So after not seeing it through the first 2 days of this tournament, we've now seen it happen twice in one game, where a team has aggressively come in to score on a pass ball or a wild pitch, and it works both times. So all of those runners from third who didn't try to score through the first 2 days when balls would head back to the fence, lesson to be taken from Team Newfoundland, it can be done. There's a strike, and the count goes to 3-1 as the score now is 6-2 for Newfoundland Labrador. There's a swing and a miss, and the count goes full. Swing and a miss and a strikeout. And that will do it for the fourth inning. 2 runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. We've played 4 complete, and Newfoundland Labrador leads Prince Edward Island 6-2. Due up in the top of the 5th. For PEI, it will be Atkins, McDonald, and Jelly. And if anyone gets on, then Arsenault. And we'll take a look at the Newfoundland Labrador defenses. There have been a number of pinch hitters. We'll see how things change as we set the defense for Newfoundland Labrador. We see that Joelle Vokey, who came in as a pinch runner for Mosier, comes out to play right field. Still Lee at first base. Over in left field, it's still Bennett. So Byrne is no longer in right. Hull still at second base. 14 Legg is still at short. Healy still on the mound. Dwyer still at third. Chipman, who came in as a pinch hitter, is playing center field. And Lockyer, who came in as a pinch hitter, is now the catcher. So Byrne, I believe, moves to extra hitter, where Mosier had been in the alignment. Although we may see Byrne get pitch hit for the next time her spot in the order comes around. In the meantime, Lily Atkins will step in. Atkins 0 for 1. And first pitch swinging, pulls that one well foul into the trees. Atkins, 15 years old, from Stratford. Takes one outside there, and the count now goes to 1-1. That one catches the outer corner, and the count 1-2 on Atkins. We're into the bottom of the fourth inning in the game on Robert Lenahan. Manitoba leading New Brunswick 18-5. If Manitoba can score 2 runs in the bottom of the fourth, That would make that game a final with the run rule. 2-2 now the count on Atkins. Swung on and missed. And there's the second strikeout for the current pitcher, Healy. And the 8th strikeout overall for Newfoundland Labrador pitching. And now we're going to get a pinch hitter for McDonald. It's going to be Gina Pickering standing in, the left-hander getting her first plate appearance of this game, as Pickering is 4 for 9, 444 batting average, with 1 RBI, 2 runs scored, as the wind really picking up here. And the amount of rain that we've had, not enough to knock down the dust, so the players getting a fair bit of dust up in their faces. Swing and a miss there by Pickering. And the lefty swings and misses again, and down on 3 straight strikes. 3rd K for Healy and 9th overall now, and that'll bring up another pinch hitter, Alyssa Perry, coming in. And Perry on the tournament, 1 for 4 at the plate. 250 batting average, a 400 on base percentage with the walk. That pitch misses outside. So Perry 1 for 4 with a walk and is ahead in the count here, 1-0. Here's the pitch from Healy, swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-1. Another pinch hitter in the on-deck circle. That pitch misses high and outside, 2-1. As we see Emily Albert standing in the on-deck circle, ready to pinch hit for Arsenault. That one misses, and I missed a pitch along the way, so there's a walk, and that will bring up Albert. No, Emily Albert. And for Albert, this is her first plate appearance of the tournament. She's come in as a defensive replacement a couple times, but has yet to get up to the plate. So this the first plate appearance for Albert. Albert, 14 years old, from Kensington. Stands in with 1 on and 2 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Runner going. Throw down to second in time, but sliding in under the tag is Perry. Looked like the ball got there in time, but Perry able to slide in and avoid the tag. A nice steal there for Perry. Good, strong throw from behind the plate by Lockyer. Now another throw over to second, and Perry able to get back. Manitoba has scored the 19th run, so they're now just 1 run away from finishing that game off. There's a strike, and the count goes to 1-1 on Albert. Emily Albert, the right-hander, standing in, takes the pitch from Healy, and it misses high. 2-1. Perry at second, 2 away. Newfoundland Labrador leading this one 6-2 here in the top of the 5th inning. That pitch misses high and in, and the count goes to 3-1. The 3-1 delivery That catches the zone, and the count goes full, 3-2. As that 20th run has come in, so that will do it. Manitoba will advance to play Ontario. Meanwhile, a called third strike. Healy strikes out the side. But the ball was dropped by the catcher. So and heads up play by Albert heading down to first. All of the Newfoundland and Labrador players were running off the field. But the strikeout and wild pitch, so there's a fourth strikeout for Healy. But it does not end the inning as Albert, it's not a wild pitch, it's a pass ball. As Albert heads up play. Now Albert will be replaced for a pinch runner as Georgia Gallant comes in to pinch run for Albert. And we're back around at the top of the order for Kirsten Rogers. Rogers 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Swings and misses there, and the count goes to 0-1. So again, Manitoba will take on Ontario at 6 o'clock tonight. And New Brunswick will play in the 11 and 12 place game tomorrow at 8:30 here on this field against whichever team falls in this one. There's a hard hit ball out to left. Coming over to make the grab is the left fielder Megan Bennett for the third out. So 3 strikeouts for Healy, not quite enough, but she does end up retiring the side. No runs on no hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. We've played 4.5, and the score remains Newfoundland Labrador 6, Prince Edward Island 2, due up in the top of the 5th. It'll be the top of the order as we check out the defensive alignment with all the changes that Prince Edward Island made in that last inning. And we see heading to third base is Pickering after she pinch hit for McDonald. Surrett still out in center. Jelly comes back into the game, Perry, who pinch hit for Jelly, plays second. Nicholson still at first. Shortstop is still Gardner. Right field remains Rogers. Left field is now Gallant after she pinch ran for Albert, who pinch hit for the left fielder Arsenault. Atkins still behind the plate and Ford still on the mound. So all of the defensive changes are position for position. Pickering pinch hit for McDonald and plays third base where McDonald had been. Perry pinch hit for Jelly and plays second base where Jelly had been. Gallant pitch runs for Albert, who pinch hit for Arsenault, and Gallant stays at third base where Arsenault had been. Now it looks like we've got some issue with the pitch counts, as the Newfoundland Labrador coach seems not too happy about something. I think his pitcher threw a 36th pitch, which means she would not be available tomorrow. And so Maddie Healy no longer would be available to pitch tomorrow. That pitch misses high and inside as up to bat here is Megan Bennett. She's still in the game there, the left fielder, and the count 2-0 on her. That one misses low, and it's now 3-0. As Ford continues to work here in her fifth inning of work. Swing and a miss there. And there were 2 strikes in there apparently somewhere. As Bennett goes down swinging 8th K for Ford, and that'll bring up Hannah Legg. Legg struck out in the first, walked, and came around to score in the third. That one misses high, ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's in for a strike, and the count goes to 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. That misses high and inside, and it's now 2-1. As there still seems to be some conversation going on around the field about the pitch count for Healy. There's a strike, and the count goes to 2-2. Meanwhile, no controversy on the pitch count for Ford. She's up to pitch number 90, and she will go to 95 and then finish whatever batter she's at that time. Gets Legg to swing and miss for strikeout number 9. And that'll bring up Mackenzie Byrne, who was the right fielder to start the game, now playing in the spot of extra hitter. And here comes the pitch. That misses high. Ball 1. One ball, no strikes. Swing and a miss there, and the count goes to 1-1. Foul tip, and it's now 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. That misses outside 2-2, and that was pitch number 95. So regardless of what happens here, this will be the last batter to be faced by Ford. Grounder to third. Strong, long throw across, not quite on target, as Pickering tried to make that throw. A long throw across the diamond. And that will do it for Ford's day. She'll have thrown 4 2/3 innings, and she will come out of the game. The new pitcher coming in will be Chloe Keogh. And let's give you the numbers on Keogh as she gets warmed up here. Claire Keogh, excuse me. Keogh pitched in 2 previous appearances. Started one, came in relief in the other. The 2 appearances combined, she pitched 1 complete inning. 4 hits, 8 runs, 7 of them earned. 3 walks, 1 strikeout, 1 hit batsman. So those are the numbers on Keogh so far on the mound in this tournament. Her 3rd appearance, which means, if I understand correctly, she would not be eligible to pitch tomorrow regardless. So I would presume that would mean she's in for the rest of the day today. As Keogh finishes her warm-up pitches, we'll reset the stage here. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Newfoundland and Labrador leading at 6-2 over Team Prince Edward Island. Newfoundland and Labrador batting in the bottom of the 5th with 1 on, 2 out. It's Byrne at first base, and Jada Lee will be the first batter that will face this new pitcher, which again, Claire Keogh taking over on the mound. Keogh, 15 years old, from Borden Carleton. Lee, 1 for 2 with a ground out to short in the first, a 2-run double in the third. As Keogh takes a long look over at first, now gets herself set and throws the pitch. Catches the outside corner, runner going, throw to second, not in time. So Byrne gets in with the stolen base, but Keogh gets ahead in the count here, 0-1. Keogh gets herself set and ready for the 0-1 pitch. And delivers. Swung on and missed, and it is 0-2. Nice breaking ball there for Keogh as the bottom fell out of that ball just as Lee swung over top of it. 0-2 now the count. And here is the 0-2 pitch. That'll miss inside. Now 1-2. The winner of this game moves on to play Saskatchewan later tonight. The loser of this game will play New Brunswick tomorrow. That one sent out to left field. Coming around to score is Byrne, and Lee, with her 3rd RBI of the game, drives in Byrne. It's now 7-2. That'll bring up Dwyer. And with those 3 RBI on the game, Lee now up to 7 on the tournament, extending her team lead in that category. Dwyer walked and scored in the second, flew out to center in the third. Comes up with a runner on first and 2 away. Runner going, and throw down to second, not in time. As Lee actually, her first move was back to first, as I think the move of Keogh had her fooled. But with that long throw from behind the plate all the way to second base, Lee still had time to get in safely. Now Keogh steps off the mound and looks Lee back into second. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and fouled back, and the count goes 1-1. One ball, 1 strike on Dwyer. Runner on second, 2 away. Runner going. And a balk called. So the runner awarded third base as Lee gets in. And now the pitch. Swung on and fouled back, and it's 1-2. Maddie Healy, the pitcher for Newfoundland and Labrador, in the on-deck circle. That one misses low. And the count now 2-2. The 2-2 pulled foul, and it's still 2-2. As one thing we noticed from Keogh, a much more deliberate pace as she takes a long time looking in and leaning and getting herself set and then pitching, and that one misses high. 3-2 now the count. Here comes the payoff pitch to Dwyer, and it misses high, ball 4. So that'll put runners at the corners with 2 away, and Maddie Healy coming up to bat. No, we'll get a pinch hitter for Healy, and it'll be Holly Russell. So Russell gets her first plate appearance of the game. And Russell so far on the tournament, batting .400, 2 for 5. On base percentage of .571 with a couple of walks for the left-hander. Runner from first base goes. And as is usual when there are runners on the corners, no throw down to second. So Lee stays at third. The pitch to Russell misses. And the count 1-0. That one popped into shallow center. It's going to drop in for a base hit. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. And the throw over to first to make sure that Russell doesn't go anywhere beyond that. And Russell gets her 5th and 6th RBIs of the tournament. As she drives in 2 runs, it's now 9-2 for Newfoundland and Labrador. And that'll bring up Joelle Vokey. Vokey came in as a pinch runner. And so now she'll get her first plate appearance of this game. 1 for 3 on the tournament with 2 walks as well. And a run scored. And Russell takes second base on the first pitch to Vokey. As Newfoundland, even though they have a 7-run lead, still going aggressively. And as that ball gets bobbled by Atkins, Russell will take third. And we've seen PEI score 11 runs in an inning earlier in this tournament. So for Newfoundland and Labrador to keep running with a 7-run lead, it's not untoward, as PEI does have the offensive capability to come back even from a 7-run deficit. Grounder to short, throw across in time for the 3rd out of the inning. Newfoundland does put 3 on the board here in the 5th. They get 3 runs on 2 hits. There was 1 error and 1 runner left on base. So we've played 5 complete. Newfoundland and Labrador with the lead 9-2. Due up in the 6th inning, it's Gardner, Surrett, and Keogh. As we take a look around at the Newfoundland Labrador defense, just to make sure there are no other changes. Russell, who pinch hit for Healy, stays in the game as pitcher. So that 36th pitch for Healy, she'll come out of the game anyway, and I'm not sure what the outcome will be out of that, but she would not be available tomorrow. She would be available for the game tonight, as if Newfoundland and Labrador hold on to this lead, they will be playing Saskatchewan in the 6:30 game on this field tonight. But Russell coming up onto the mound in this one, her second appearance. She pitched 2/3 of an inning previously. No hits, no runs, no walks, one strikeout. So one very brief appearance earlier in this tournament. And now Russell will pitch, and if previous form in this game is any indication, she'll throw her 35 pitches so that they have her for tomorrow as well. But of course, for Newfoundland and Labrador, they have another game tonight yet, so they have to keep that in mind, assuming they hold on to win. The two games that they have left, one of them is still today, if they have two games left and if they hold on to win. Emily Gardner coming up to bat here. Gardner 0 for 2. Takes the first pitch for a strike from Russell. Everything else defensively remains the same. Penny, Chipman, and Byrne around the outfield. There's a foul, and the count goes to 0-2. Woodman. Actually, there is a defensive change there. Abby Woodman has come in to replace Claire Dwyer at third base. That one just over the head of the shortstop leg for a leadoff single for Gardner. And that'll bring up Victoria Surratt. Surratt 1 for 2 with a single, an RBI, and a run scored. So again, running you around the infield, Woodman now at third. Legg, Hull, and Lee. And then Lockyer behind the plate with Russell on the mound. Throw to first. And just getting back. Close play there as Gardner, leaning the wrong way to start with, able to get back in safely. That one misses inside. And Surratt ahead in the count 1-0. Russell, the left-hander, gets herself set and delivers the pitch. That misses high, and it's 2-1 on Surratt here with nobody out and one on in the top of the sixth inning. That misses high, and it's 3-1. Our next game on this field will be a semi-final matchup between British Columbia and Quebec 1. There's a strike, and the count goes full, 3-2. And then we'll have one more game on this diamond after that tonight, the 6:30 start. Whoever wins this game will take on Saskatchewan. Swing and a miss. That was the sixth pitch that Surratt had faced. Perhaps she foul tipped that one. There's a grounder, And having trouble gathering it up was the third baseman, Woodman, so everybody's safe. Runners on first and second now. And that'll bring up Claire Keogh. Keogh's first at bat of the game. Keogh 1 for 8 so far with 2 RBI. And the first pitch to Keogh catches the outside corner, 0-1. Still 2 players left available on the Prince Edward Island bench, Michaela Taylor and Gabriella Livingston. There's a hard hit ball out to left center. That'll drop in and get all the way to the wall. Keogh rounding first. She'll get into second with a stand-up double. 2 runs come in to score. And we talked about the fact that Prince Edward Island has the offense to try to come back in this game. They're now trailing it 9-4. A 2 RBI double for Keogh. And that'll bring up Ellen Nicholson. Nicholson with an RBI single in the first, reached on an error in the fourth, and comes up here with a runner in scoring possession and still nobody out. And she hits that ball hard out to center field, but ends up being right at Julia Chipman for the first out. And that'll bring up Carly Snow. Snow 0 for 2 with a strikeout and grounded into a fielder's choice. The left-hander stands in, swings and misses at the first pitch, and the count goes to 0-1. So the PEI batters have found something in Russell's delivery that they've been able to key on, and they've been hitting the ball hard so far. That one misses in the dirt, gets away from Lockyer, and Keogh able to make her way down to third. 1-1 now the count on Snow. That one misses high, 2-1. Speaking of snow, I was talking to my mother last night. She lives way up in northern BC. Apparently they got some snow last week. They can keep it. That one misses high, and the count goes to 3-1. Yeah, when snow falls before the school year starts, that's it. I'm living in the wrong place if that happens. 3-1 the count here on Snow. Swings and misses at that one, and the count runs full. And that misses outside, ball 4, putting runners at the corners with 1 out, and Lily Atkins coming up. Atkins 0 for 2 on the day with a pair of strikeouts, but before we get to her, we're going to get a quick chat at the mound, and are we going to get a pitching change? It looks like we are, as coming in to pitch now will be Legg. So just 1/3 of an inning for Russell. Legg becomes the 5th pitcher for Newfoundland and Labrador. Russell will stay in the game. She went to get a different glove. So we'll see how the defense realigns itself here in just a moment. Looks like Lee is going to move to short from first base. And Russell is going to go to first base. So the three players who switch positions, Jada Lee goes from first base to short, Hannah Legg goes from short to pitcher, and Russell goes from pitcher to first base. And with the new pitcher, Legg, this is her her second pitching appearance of the tournament. She threw 1 inning in a previous appearance, giving up 4 runs on 4 hits, walking 3 in that 1 inning of work. All 4 runs were earned. And as Legg enters the game here, she comes in with 2 on, 1 out in the top of the 6th inning. And Lily Atkins, who is 0 for 2 on the day, up at the plate. 9-4 the scoreline now, as PEI trying to work their way back into this one. First pitch to Atkins misses high and outside. And Snow not running on the pitch, although Newfoundland and Labrador were expecting her to, and reacted as if she was going. Now she goes with this pitch. And no throw down to second to make sure that Keogh stays at third. Strike called on the pitch, and the count goes to 1-1. So 2 now in scoring position for PEI to try and close the gap further. That one catches the corner, and the count 1-2 on Atkins. The right-hander Legg delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 3. First strikeout for Legg, 10th strikeout overall for Newfoundland pitching. And that'll bring up Pickering. She's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Comes up here with 2 out and 2 on. And takes the first pitch. A strike at the knees, and the count goes 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. That just misses, and it's 1-1 now as Legg gets herself set. That one hit out to right center. It gets over the head of the center fielder, Chipman. 2 runs will score. Pickering will get into second. And a 2 RBI double for Pickering. Make it now 9-6 for Pickering. That her second and third RBI of the tournament. And we've once again got ourselves a game. That'll bring up Alyssa Perry. She walked her first time up. Perry swings and misses, and the count goes to 0-1. Here's the pitch. That one just misses high and outside, and the count 1-1. So with the score now 9-6, the potential tying run, swing and a miss there, and it's 1-1. The potential tying run standing in the on-deck circle in the form of Georgia Gallant. And PEI trying to keep this 2-out rally going. That one misses high, and the count goes to 2-2. Although the rally started before there were 2 out. But there are now 2 out, so the challenge to keep the rally going. But there's a called third strike. And Legg will shut it down. Her second strikeout, 11th strikeout of PEI batting. The Islanders score 4. They get 4 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and 1 runner left on base. We've played 5.5. And Newfoundland and Labrador is still leading, but it is much closer. 9-6 your scoreline. Heading into the bottom of the 6th inning, due up in the bottom of the 6th, it'll be Hull, followed by Chipman and Lockyer. As we take a quick look around at the PEI defense. Making sure there are no other changes. So PEI getting themselves set defensively here for the bottom of the 6th inning. Newfoundland Labrador looking to add some insurance. Try and get a little bit more of a margin for themselves to play with in the top of the 7th. Again, the winner of this game will play Saskatchewan tonight at 6:30. The team that loses this game will be back on this field tomorrow morning at 8:30 in the 11th place game against New Brunswick. And here is Victoria Hull stepping in. She's walked twice, come around to score one of those 2 times. Takes a first pitch strike here from Claire Keogh. Keogh gets herself set and delivers the 0-1. That misses high, 1-1. Swing and a miss there, and the count goes to 1-2. Hull from Pasadena says she wants to be a math or a gym teacher when she finishes her schooling. Speaking as a math teacher, kudos. That one pulled hard and foul, just inside the fence, but into foul territory. The count stays 1-2. During the school year, I do have a half-time math position and then spend the rest of my time at the rink doing this sort of thing, but with hockey games. Here comes the pitch. That one popped foul as well. Up into the side of the hill there, leading up to the road leading down into Bedford. The beautiful community of Bedford here in the Halifax Regional Municipality. And I'm not just saying that because some of my wife's friends live in Bedford. Two and two the count here on Hull. Keogh sets and fires. Another one pulled foul as we're about to get the 8th pitch of this at-bat. A great battle going on between The right-handed hitting Victoria Hull and the right-handed throwing Claire Keogh here. And with PEI getting 4 big runs in the top of the 6th, the one thing they would love to do is have this bottom of the 6th inning go pretty quickly so they can get right back out there and start hitting again. Now the count is full, and we're going to see the 9th pitch of this at-bat. Swung on and missed, and a big strikeout for Keogh. First K for her, 10th K overall for PEI pitching, and that'll bring up Julia Chipman. Chipman had an RBI groundout in her first plate appearance back in the 4th. Chipman, 15 years old from St. John's, standing in. Trying to get things going here in the bottom of the 6th. Takes the pitch high, ball 1. One and 0 the count on the center fielder for Team Newfoundland Labrador. That pitch misses high, 2-0. As if we had 3D effects, that one would have had quite the impact, I'm sure. Coming all the way straight to the backstop there. 2-0 the count on Chipman. Fouls that one back as the rain coming down here. Sort of a misty light rain. 2-1 now the count. Actually, it's starting to pick up a little bit here as you see the umbrellas popping up various points around the field. And that one will just get over the head of the shortstop and out to left center field. Gardner had that one go over her head, and Chipman gets on with the single. That'll bring up Madison Lockyer. Lockyer struck out her first time up. Lockyer from Mount Pearl, 15 years old, right-handed hitting catcher. Here comes the first pitch to Lockyer. Runner going. Throw down to second. Not quite in time. Chipman with the steal. The pitch to Lockyer missed high. Lockyer plans to be a junior high English teacher when she gets out of school. Here comes the 1-0 to Lockyer. There's a strike, and the count goes 1-1. And considering she's just 15 years old, I can forgive a little mistake on her bio. She says if she could have a walk-up song, what would it be? She lists Paint It Black by the Doors. We'll have to teach Madison a little bit about classic rock. Paint It Black, of course, the Rolling Stones. But again, she's only 15, so we can forgive on that. There's a throw down to third on the steal, and Chipman gets in safely. Two and one the count on Lockyer. That one misses inside, or it was 3-1. That one misses inside, so the walk puts runners at the corners, and that'll bring up Megan Bennett. With runners on first and third. Bennett walked twice and struck out once. Came around to score on one of those walks. And with runners on first and third, runner going, and no throw down to second. Ball 1 to Bennett. 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th. Newfoundland Labrador looking to extend their lead. There's a swing and a miss, and the count goes 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. That misses up and in, and it's now 2-1. The 2-1 pitch swung on and missed, and it's 2-2. Another swing and a miss. Strike 3, second strikeout of the inning, and second strikeout overall for Keogh. 11th combined for PEI pitching, and that'll bring up Hannah Legg. Legg struck out twice, walked once, came around to score when she did have that walk. Here's the first pitch to Legg, swing and miss, and the count 0-1. This would be a big out for PEI if they can finish off this inning and get back to trying to finish the comeback, only trailing by 3. As the wind continuing to gust here, that one misses high. 1-1 the count. Keogh gets herself set and ready to deliver the 1-1 pitch. That one catches the inside corner, and it's 1-2. As we're getting ready for the semifinals coming up on these two fields as our next games. Alberta about to take on Nova Scotia over on the Richard Lenahan field, while the next game on this field will be Quebec and British Columbia. That one fouled off, and the count remains 1-2. And, of course, those 4 teams will be playing in the medal games tomorrow. The 2 semifinal winners going for gold tomorrow night at 6. The 2 semifinal losers going bronze tomorrow at 3. But right now, Newfoundland is going to put 2 more runs on the board. Legg with the 2 RBI double, sliding in safely. And that will make it 11-6. So a big 2-run double for Legg. That'll bring up Mackenzie Byrne. She struck out in the first, walked and scored in the third, reached on an error and scored in the 5th, and comes up with a chance to further extend the Newfoundland and Labrador lead. And the first pitch to Byrne misses outside, gets away from Atkins, and Legg gets into third. And now we'll have time called so the Legg can tie her shoelaces. Keogh gets herself set. And here comes the 1-0. Grounder gets by the shortstop Gardner as it takes a bad hop on her. Leg comes in to score. And that makes it 12-6. So an RBI single for Byrne. That'll bring up Jada Lee. She's 2 for 3 with a single, a double, 3 RBI, and 1 run scored in this game. 12-6 now the scoreline. First pitch misses in the dirt, and the count goes to 1-0. The 1-0 to Lee, runner going, swing and a miss. And in standing is Byrne as Atkins bobbled that one slightly. The one time called as Keogh is taking a little too long there for Lee's liking. Now Lee steps back in. Keogh, a long look back at second. Another look back at second. And now stepping off. And we'll get reset and do it all over again. Another step off as we still await the 1-1 pitch here on Lee. And yet another step off. Now they're actually going to throw the ball over to second, and Byrne able to get back. Keogh again, long look back at second, now gets herself set. Now she'll deliver the pitch, and a booming shot out to center field. There's a no-doubter, 2-run home run for Lee. Her 4th and 5th RBI of the game, make it 14-6. 2-run home run for Jada Lee. And a good show of sportsmanship there as Keogh gives Lee a little pat on the back. And, you know, I've heard people deride that type of behavior. I've got no problem with that kind of sportsmanship. To say, you know what, yep, you beat me in that battle. Congratulations to you. You deserve it. Doesn't mean that you're rolling over and showing weakness. It means you're showing good sportsmanship. Doesn't mean that you're, you know, admitting anything other than you beat me in that battle, good on you. And when it's, you know, a game like baseball where it is a 1-versus-1 battle, pitcher versus batter, you know, to tip your hat to the person who beat you in that particular battle, I got no issue with that whatsoever. Abby Woodman stepping in for her first at-bat after she came as a defensive replacement. And Woodman on the tournament, 0 for 1 with 2 walks. So the on-base percentage, .667. 2-0 the count on Woodman now. That one or 3-0 was the count rather, and that one misses inside for a walk, and that'll bring up Holly Russell. And Russell becomes significant here with 2 away, as if she were to score, that would make it a 10-run margin, and I believe, even though it's the 6th inning, not the 5th, the 10-run margin after 6 would have the same impact. It is an 8-run margin right now, 14-6. The way the rule is written, it says after 4.5 or 5, but I believe, and goodness, wouldn't be the first time I was wrong if I am, but I believe it also applies after 5.5 or 6. Runner going, and in safely is Woodman. So if Russell gets on and then comes around to score, that would, as I said, a 10-run margin. That one misses high. And I believe it's 3-0 now on Russell. Or 2-1. We get the indication from the umpire. And that one misses high and gets all the way to the backstop, and Woodman will head into third with the 3-1 count. Here comes that 3-1 pitch, fouled off, and it's 3-2. Joelle Vokey in the on-deck circle. The payoff pitch misses outside, ball 4. That puts runners at the corners. And we'll have a meeting at the mound as Mother Nature's still trying to figure out what she's doing, with the sun getting all bright again. Which means I got to figure out where I put my shades. Did I put them back in? And of course, with the wind that we've had, there they are. So Vokey comes up. She's 0 for 1, grounded out to short to end the 5th inning. Comes up here with in the 6th. And again, the run that would make it a 10-run margin, I'm not sure, but I believe that would end the game, is standing at first base. And now head to second with the first pitch. And the ball ends up getting past Atkins. So 14-6 the scoreline. The potential 15th and 16th runs on base right now. Here comes the pitch from Keogh. Fouled back, and the count goes to 1-1. Assuming Newfoundland and Labrador win this one, they'll play Saskatchewan tonight. And Prince Edward Island will play New Brunswick tomorrow for the 11th and 12th place. If Prince Edward Island were to have a dramatic comeback in the top of the 7th, those roles would just get reversed. There's another one in the dirt, and the count now 3-0 on Vokey. For Newfoundland and Labrador against Saskatchewan, those two teams were in different pools, so they did not meet already in the tournament. PEI and New Brunswick did. And there's ball 4, so that will load the bases. Second time, or no, just the first time in this game, we have a team batting around as Victoria Hull. Actually, before we get to Victoria Hull, we'll get a pitching change, as Keogh will be taken out for Katie McDonald. And as McDonald re-enters, that means Pickering, would have to come out of the game. And Snow will re-enter, Ford, will re-enter the game as well. So Ford will re-enter the game and play third base. McDonald re-enters the game to pitch. And so that's a relatively straightforward change. Just two players re-entering and swapping the positions that they were in to start with. So, again, while we have this new pitcher warming up, that new pitcher, Katie McDonald, let's reset the scene for you here. Bases 2 away, bottom of the 6th inning. Newfoundland and Labrador leading it 14-6. McDonald has pitched once previously in this tournament, 2/3 of an inning, up 2 runs on 1 hit. Both runs were earned. She also walked 4. And as I was saying, if PEI and New Brunswick do meet tomorrow morning for that 11 and 12 place game, it would be a rematch of the first game we had on this diamond Thursday morning. The game that New Brunswick was leading 8-1 going into the bottom of the 6th before PEI put up 11 runs in a single inning to go ahead 12-8. And then New Brunswick scored 2 in the top of the 7th, but enough to come back from the PEI comeback, and the Islanders won that game 12-10. So the Battle of the Confederation Bridge looking like what the potential matchup for tomorrow's 11-12 game, but again, that's not definite, as PEI could still come back. So Hull coming up for her second time in this inning. It's a strike, and the count goes 0-1. Hull has walked twice, struck out once. She struck out to lead off this inning. Takes outside, and the count goes 1. Our next scheduled game, scheduled for a 3:30 start. That between BC and Quebec. There's a grounder called foul, and so that makes the count 1-2. We may not start quite at 3:30. We'll be close, but we may be a few minutes behind schedule. The other semifinal between Alberta and Nova Scotia, that one set to start about 10 minutes from now. It certainly should not have it getting going on time. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. And the bottom of the 6th does come to an end. Newfoundland and Labrador put 5 more runs on the board. They score those runs on 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. No. And the bases left loaded. We've played 6 complete. Newfoundland and Labrador lead it 14-6. PEI due up in the top of the 7th, needing 8 to tie, 9 to take a lead. It will be Georgia Gallant, Kirsten Rock, and Emily Gardner. As Legg back out on the mound. And as we take a quick scan around, ensure the rest of the defense is still as it was. That certainly looks to be the case. And oh no, Brianna Saunders has come back into the game, re-entering in center field. Other than that, everything. And Steph Pelly re-enters the game behind the plate. So 2 of the Newfoundland Labrador starters re-enter the game for the 7th inning, Pelly and Saunders. And Georgia Gallant coming up. She came in as a pinch runner in the 5th. Will get her first plate appearance in this one. Gallant, just her second plate appearance of the tournament. She walked her first time up. Takes a couple pitches inside and is ahead in the count 2-0. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Swung on and missed, and it's 2-1. As the cloud cover returns, and the game of musical glasses continues. That one catches the outside corner. It's 2-2. That misses high. 3-2. Kirsten Rogers in the circle. Emily Gardner due up third in this inning. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Third strikeout for Legg. 12th strikeout overall for Newfoundland Labrador pitching, as 5 pitchers that we have seen combining so far. There's a strike called to Rogers. And so Legg ahead in the count here, 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Rogers in the first, came around to score. Popped out in the 3rd, flew out in the 5th. So 0 for 2. Fouls that one off, and the count remains 0-2. After the game, we'll have the handshakes and the presentation of the game. And then we'll step aside for a brief break while they get the field ready for the semifinals. That one misses outside. Again, the semifinal matchup we'll have on this field will be BC and Quebec 1. There's a grounder back to the pitcher. Legg for to get it. Throw down to first in time, but pulls the first baseman, Russell, just off of the bag. So the throwing error pulls Russell off the bag enough that Rogers reaches, and that'll bring up Emily Gardner. 1 for 3, singled and scored in the 6th, struck out in the 3rd and grounded out in the 1st. Throw over to first, and getting back in safely is Rogers. Here's the pitch. Swung on, foul tipped. And the count goes 0-1. That semifinal game over on the other diamond, scheduled for a 3 o'clock start, has started. Although it's only 2:57. There's a foul ball, nearly caught with a great effort at third base there by Woodman, but just out of her reach. So the count now 0-2 on Gardner. That one, a called third strike. 4 Ks, 4 leg, 13 strikeouts by Newfoundland Labrador pitching. That'll bring up Victoria Surrett. She's 1 for 3. Singled, drove in a run, and came around to score herself in the 1st. Struck out in the 4th, reached on an error, and scored in the 6th. First pitch to Surrett, misses and gets past the catcher Pelly, and heading down to second base is Rogers. 2 away here, top of the 7th inning. PEI needs 8 to tie and force a bottom of the 7th. That one misses outside, 2-0 the count. That one fouled off. Right on the top of a car there. Fortunately, it hit the roof and not the windshield. We saw one yesterday go through the back, or not through, but severely crack the back window of a van. There's a strike, and the count goes to 2-2, which leads me to again remind people that if you do come down to watch the games, and we do recommend you come down, it's a beautiful venue to watch from here. Park in the parking area right at the diamond. You do so at your own risk. There's an advance to third as that ball got past Pelly yet again, and Rogers able to get in, although it was a close play at third base there. And the count to Searle, 3-2. That one misses high, ball 4. Runners at the corners with 2 out, and that'll bring up Selena Ford. She went 0 for 2 before she left the game for Keogh, then re-entered as a defensive re-entry in the bottom of the 6th. So now comes up with runners on the corners and 2 out. Runner going. Taking the strike at the knees was Ford. And for a couple of reasons, no throw down to second. 1, there's a runner at third. 2, it's an 8-run margin, so that run represented by the runner at third really not of consequence in the minds of Team Newfoundland and Labrador at this point. There's a pitch that, just misses. And the count goes to 2-1. Now we're going to have, that was pitch 35. And so in order to have all available tomorrow, we're going to see a pitching change. And this is a prime example of where I'd love to see the rule changed. I was talking about it yesterday with Nicole Luchansky as we were in the broadcast. That's your 35th. You go up, you say, this is her last batter. Let her finish that at bat. There's 2 out. And the count on the current batter is 2-1. Let her finish that last batter, and maybe possibly the game could end right there. But instead, we're going to change. Is Victoria, and so Victoria Hull's going to come in here. She enters with the at bat of Ford. Ford, in the middle of her at bat, has to adjust to a completely different pitcher. It's not fair to the pitcher. It's not fair to Ford. It's not fair to Legg, who was pitching, who's this close to finishing the game, that if she were allowed to throw maybe one, let the pitcher finish. And if it were her 95th pitch, they would let her finish the at-bat when she reaches the maximum. So why do they not let them finish the at-bat when they reach that particular threshold if the coach says, this is her, and then she'd still be available for the next day? I know I've ranted about this a few times over the course of this tournament. I believe I ranted about this a few times last year at this tournament. And I would love to see Baseball Canada, the powers that be, do something with this so that we don't get this situation where we get a pitching change with possibly one pitch left in the game. There's a swing and a miss. Okay, there might have been two pitches left in the game as the count is now 2-2, but the point still stands. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. And it ends up brushing Ford, and so Ford will reach on a hit by pitch. And if Legg had done that, then yes, now you change your pitch because you've reached your daily limit. But at least there might have been a chance that things had been able to finish off. That'll bring up Nicholson with the bases loaded and 2 away. Nicholson takes a first pitch strike and the count goes to 0-1. And we should mention as well that this is a new pitcher for Newfoundland and Labrador. Hull threw 1 inning earlier in the tournament. No runs, no hits, 1 walk and 1 strikeout. And comes in here to throw the last third of an inning in this one, barring a comeback of epic proportions. Swing and a miss there, and Nicholson down to her final strike. And I can almost guarantee you now that we will not be on time with our 3:30 start. That one misses high, 2-2 now the count. As Hull looking to finish things off. There's the pitch. That misses high and inside. And it's 3-2. 2 strikes, 2 out, so everybody will be moving on the pitch. Here comes the 3-2. Grounded foul down the third base line, so everybody will go back and we'll do it again. Off, and we'll do it one more time. And again, I want to be perfectly clear here. I 100% support the pitch count rules. I just want to see that one tiny little tweak, that one tiny little modification. Pitch 35, you can finish the batter. Pitch 50, you can finish the batter. Whatever the case may be, and it not have that major impact down the road. Nicholson ends up walking and getting an RBI. That makes it 14-7. As Rogers comes in to score, Surrett third. Ford gets to second, and that'll bring up Carly Snow. with still 2 away. And Snow fouls that one back. And the count goes to 0-1. The 0-1 pitch misses in the dirt. And the count goes to 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That misses high. 2-1 now. Two balls, 1 strike. Bases loaded, 2 away. Grounder to short. And that is the ball game. Prince Edward Island do put 1 on the board in the top of the 7th. They get 1 run on no hits, 1 error. The bases left loaded. Your final score, Prince Edward Island falls to Newfoundland 14-7. Newfoundland and Labrador will win at 6:30 this evening. Prince Edward Island will take on New Brunswick for 11th and 12th place in the tournament. And that'll be at 8:30 tomorrow morning here on this field, the Joan Lenahan Field. The Newfoundland Labrador against Saskatchewan also will be on this field this evening. We'll stick around for the presentation of the players of the game as the handshakes are taking place right now. And a few different players of the game for both teams. Obviously, the big 2-run home run out to center field. Something to talk about for Jada Lee. She had 5 RBI overall on the game. That's a player to certainly consider. Byrne had a good game at the plate. Healy had a good game on the mound, although none of the pitchers were in there long enough really to have that necessarily be enough to get them player of the game consideration. Selena Ford gets the player of the game for PEI. She had a good effort on the mound. And it is Jada Lee with her 5 RBI performance. A single, a double, a home run. 5 RBIs going 3 for 4. So that will do it for this one. The final score once again, Newfoundland and Labrador beats PEI 14-7.